Okay, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is a addendum video. It's an addendum to the presentation of evidence. Today is the 24th of June. It is a Monday. We are in Manayunk, Pennsylvania. Okay, what it was is in the presentation of evidence, there was a third point that I was going to make, but then I decided not to because I don't have any evidence that actually supports that claim. But I thought better of it, and I'm gonna put it in now anyway. Um, yeah, okay, so here it is. Point number 1, which obviously I discussed at length in the first 2 videos in, May and April. The first one is obviously that Hernandez v. Commissioner finalized the Supreme Court finalized that quid pro quo transactions with religions are not tax deductible. Okay, that's point number 1. Then, if you remember in source 22, which is the Brunson article, Brigham Young University Law Review, the 1st of September 2019, Mormon Prophet, Brigham Young Tithing and the Bureau of Internal Revenue, written by Samuel Brunson. In this article, Samuel Brunson suggests that the LDS Mormon Church itself, the church now, is obligated to pay tax on the tithing that it takes in because they're quid pro quo transactions. Okay. So now the argument shifted. Point 1, that you can't deduct quid pro quo transactions with a religion. Point 2, that religions that take money in on a quid pro quo basis themselves are required to pay tax. Okay. Then I wanted to point to source 28 of 47, which is the 29th of June, 1992 uh, court ruling, Church of Spiritual Technology versus United States. Again, yeah, the 29th of June, 1992. And we're going to go to the very last page, which is page 25 of 26. And I'm going to read this once again. The court does not question the sincerity of the beliefs of those who practice Scientology, nor does the court hold that Scientology is not a religion. Plainly, it is. The limited issue before the court, however, is whether CST, or Church of Spiritual Technology, has met its obligation of demonstrating that the commissioner's decision was erroneous. It has not. There was sufficient evidence in the administrative record to support the commissioner's finding that Church of Spiritual Technology has not shown itself to be an exempt organization under 501c3. Okay, so using this judge's ruling as a guide, and I'm not a lawyer, but again, you can be a religion in the United States and not qualify for tax exemption. Some do, some do not. Now, here comes point number 3. What do you call an organization whose primary source of income are quid pro quo transactions? A business. Businesses are subject to taxation. Businesses do not qualify for tax exemption. Now, if the LDS Mormon Church, if their primary source of income are quid pro quo tithing transactions, what legally would that make the LDS Mormon Church? Right. If 95% of Jewish synagogues that take in temple dues, which are quid pro quo transactions, per Justice O'Connor, if that is their primary source of income, what legally would that make those synagogues? Right. Which would mean that they don't qualify for tax exemption because some religions qualify for exemption, others do not. And I think that that was the third step in all of this, that possibly the Hernandez ruling, the final knock-on effect of the Hernandez ruling would be that the IRS might have to rescind the tax exemption of the LDS Mormon religion and the Jewish synagogues. And I think that, if I am right, and that's a big if, and I'm not a lawyer, but if I'm right, that would have really scared the IRS, which would even better explain why was it that the IRS capitulated to this Scientology group, granted them tax exemption, got the Garrison case and the Powell case dropped, got the administrative inconsistency argument that they were so afraid of. They got it dropped. That's why it would explain why they were so desperate to get those lawsuits dropped and why they did not want administrative inconsistency proven on them because yeah, final effect. Now, as I said in the two videos earlier, the interview video and the presentation of evidence video, as I said multiple times, I think that while this might sound like a big problem, and it is, it's also a very easy fix. Like I said, tax code's going to get tweaked. Obviously, the Mormon religion and the Jewish religion are going to maintain their tax exemption. Yes, of course. Tweaks are going to be made. Life will go on. Um, yeah, I think it's 100% fair to say that Fred Goldberg and others like Howard Schoenfeld and the other members of that special committee, they decided to take what was ultimately a molehill issue, or at least an easily fixable issue, and turn it into the mountain that it is today. And it is a really awful mess, and people got hurt because of their unlawful behavior. But yeah, big problem, simple solution. But yeah, I think that that's the full breadth of the Hernandez ruling. Number one, quid pro quo, not tax deductible. Number two, the religions themselves are on the hook to pay income tax. And number three, they don't qualify for tax exemption. That's the mountain. And people got hurt. That's the summit of the mountain.
So, where's the line drawn between a donation and a quid pro transaction, and how is that decision made?
Well, well, I mean, a donation is when you give money. Okay, when you give money to someone and you expect nothing in return, that's a donation.
Right,
Okay,
right.
if you give money to a 501c3 and it's religions fall under 501c3, schools and animal welfare groups fall under 501c3. So if you write a check to, let's say, the United Way for $1,000 and you just say, here's a check, hope it helps, and you get nothing in return, nothing from the United Way, or yeah, you get nothing in return, then you're allowed to deduct that from your taxes. But if you, let's say you go to a Goodwill store and you purchase, I don't know, $100 worth of clothes, can you deduct that $100 from your taxes? No, because you got something in return. That's a quid pro quo transaction, even though you paid the money to the Goodwill, which is a 501c3 tax exempt organization. And then there's some other ones out there, like political campaigns, like the Republican Party, the Democrat Party. They fall under 501c4. And the big difference there is that if you donate money to a 501c4 tax exempt organization, you can't deduct it from your taxes. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So, but I'm thinking the Jewish temple dues, for example,
Yeah.
those aren't an outright requirement,
Yes, they are.
but they are. Like, is it stated that they're a requirement, or is it just known that they're a requirement?
Well,
Like, does the do the Jewish temples explicitly say to be a member you have to pay these dues?
yes. Yes. If you go online and you just type in like Jewish temple dues, you'll find, and this makes me feel really dirty. I feel dirty sticking my nose into other people's religion. It's personal, it's their business.
Sure.
Obviously I'm not Jewish nor am I a Mormon. Um, I feel dirty doing this. But anyway, Yeah, if you go online and you type in like Jewish temple dues, you'll see websites for synagogues, and they have like their membership pages. Like, you know, they have like an application. You apply to be a member of that synagogue, and then they have these entire payment schedules. Like, you know, if you're 25 and younger and you're single, you pay this. If you're married with children, you pay that. If you've been a member of the temple for more than 30 years, your dues are this. I mean, it's a payment schedule, and if you don't pay, you can't get in. And where I think a lot of people have been going wrong is they think that if you in any way provide money to a religion, then you can deduct it. And that's not true. And that's Hernandez. That's what Hernandez really um, clarified. I mean, once and for all, so saith the Supreme Court that under our current tax code, um, um, quid pro quo transactions with religions are not tax deductible. And it's the same thing with the Mormon religion. Tithing is 10%, and you must pay it. And if you don't, you cannot get into the Mormon church and receive all of the services. Some of them are spiritual services like weddings and funerals. Other services like they have daycare. I believe Mormon temples have gyms. You can exercise. So they have all of these, but all of it is contingent upon that 10% tithing. Any other questions? And this is good. This is good. The whole point of this is to walk away with a warm and fuzzy.
No, I think that's it. I think it's pretty clear.
Okay.